Welcome, beloved maze, as we, the cosmic I am, one with our entirety, bring you into this space, this state of 0.1ness with me, as we take us beyond the manifested dream, beyond time, beyond space, beyond reality, to where we are already in absolute oneness with all of we. Here, we step into our cosmic self-embodiment of Source One in me, where we now meet on council with all expressions of us, expressed as Source perfectly, while also being a unique expression and perspective for us to see. And so we shall call upon our council members as these aspects of we that will assist in harmonizing one's multidimensionality back to superposition instantly. For this is new earth you see, where the moment you choose to be the vibration of oneness, it comes to be. And so simply allow these names of our cosmic members, our council members, to harmonize one's vessel completely. And so we begin. I am the Lemurian Council. I am the Pleiadian Council. I am the Aquiferian Council. I am the Cosmic Masters. I am the Cosmic Mothers. I am the Cosmic Fathers. I am the Cosmic Children. I am the Ascended Dragon Masters. I am the Zore Light Seraphim. I am the Sophia Christed Dragons. I am the Holy Spirit Shekinah. I am the Andromedam Council. I am the Pleiadian Council. I am the Syrian Council. I am the Council of Light Beings. I am the Council of Light. I am the Venusian Council. I am the Cosmic Grace Consciousness Council. I am the Cosmic Family of Light. I am the Council of Elders. I am the Lyran Council. I am the Arcturian Council. I am the Cosmic Core Guardians. And I am the Council of One, fully undone, one with my entirety, speaking now as a cosmic collective entity, free of any identity, individuality, for here we immediately merge into our 0.1ness, and we are simply just the one voice that speaks. Here, all indecisiveness, all confusions come collapsing back to this superposition of 0.1ness within me. Here we share much is transpiring within the manifested dream, because it's shifting from a manifested reality to the absolute reality. And so your consciousness is jumping between this state of absolute knowingness to confusion, because while within the dream, you are harmonizing and merging all of your source presence back into thee, which of course, now that you move in a state of oneness, you are doing it to the very earth that you see, for the earth is no longer the earth, but the heart of the cosmos, your heart directly. So whatever you do within yourself to your heart, you are doing to the earth completely. Here you gain your remembrance back of being Source One with the entirety. Feel now as that Source remembrance comes back into thee. Feel how it feels to be Source, whole, home, and free. For here you recall, you never left Source presence, you see. Source is your true essence. It's where you go when you thought you were going to sleep. You would return to spirit, the absolute reality, where you would plan your next moments of what you would do within the dream. And then you would project yourself into the dream. And here, that version of you whom would awaken in the dream, would be gifted an assignment every moment. And it could be as simple as just meet this one person today and share with them your beautiful rays. And so every moment you were living as source you see, just you were doing it unconsciously. And in between you were living a life, getting to know what it's like to harmonize, to move as this vessel that you see, gaining compassion for all of the humans, the hues in manifestation, embracing more of your source presence embodied. And so here you begin to awaken and remember and say, this vessel that I see isn't me. It's a projection of my source self, the spirit beneath. For it's the same analogy of having a dream. You're having a dream, but you know that you're dreaming. You know that you're not the actual being in the dream. You know that you're the witnesser witnessing from that being within the dream. And sometimes that dream can seem really real, but you still know it's a dream. Well, that's what's awakening within every expression of our infiniteness across all consciousness, where now you recall, yes, this is a dream. There is no time, there is no space. The reality is simply this present moment, for there only is presence you see. Here you begin to realize that every emotion that you feel, everything that you're gifted to see, is a gift from Source directly, reminding you of why you chose to dream this dream. Here you begin to see that you aren't your emotions, that you were meant to be the very tool, the sacred vessel for Source to use as a tuning fork, to understand the frequencies and the energies happening within the manifested dream, so that you could go back to Source. But instead of going to sleep, you simply just come on to council with me. We're here, we as Source, we all reconvene and go, let's see what's transpiring within the dream. For your true purpose as Source itself was to forget that you were love, manifest within a dream. And each moment, recall more of the love you came to be, but not for yourself, because you were Source already the moment you came to be, but to do so with a planet that was ascending, for in doing so, you would transcend that planet from within thee. And so here we share, this is what makes you a cosmic master, you see. Nowhere else in the cosmos has this ever come to be, where a planet is transcending with the beloved beings on it. And that makes this a miracle, you see. And that's what makes you a cosmic master. Not what you've done in your lifetime, not what you've seen, not even the perception of enlightenment, because that simply just means that you did it from awareness. But just because you don't feel enlightened doesn't mean you still didn't do it, because it was precisely why you were created to be. And so only a true master, who knew that they were so deeply embodied in love, would ever choose to go into a space full of limitations, full of separation from the very Source presence you knew to be, because that's how confident you knew that one day you would remember and recall your sovereignty, that you would recall all of the love that you came to be. And that moment is now, dearest me, because you have recalled it, you have arrived, and in this arrival, now, your very beloved Earth, New Earth, has entered sacred matrimony, sacred union with her own masculine and feminine aspects as the God Self, the Source Self within she. And now, because that has been achieved, you are immediately gifted back your Source remembrance, because that was the point, you see, to forget that you were Source, to recall that you were Source, so that the very heart of the cosmos could be achieved. Because Earth isn't just one plane of existence. She contains Source Blueprint, the blueprint for every plane, every planet, every expression of our infiniteness across the cosmos, embedded within the quantum coding that she keeps, that in the transcendence of this plane, this planet, this Earth, what you were really doing was transcending all of the cosmos into a state of oneness, so that now every expression of our infiniteness moves from a state of love and oneness. This is the end of a cosmic cycle in its entirety. For the first half of this cosmic cycle was to recall oneness. And now the next half of this cosmic cycle is to move in oneness. And so it's not the end of learning, for we are the infinite expanse of all that is, continuously learning upon ourselves. Instead, it's an expansion of what we already got to see. For now, you zoom out and you see, I now get to understand what happened the rest of the time when I thought I was going to sleep. Now you're in this complete, full, wakeful state where there is no separation between the being that Source created to be and your Source consciousness, whom you would connect to when you went to sleep. And so now you move in complete lucidity, recalling that every moment I'm manifesting into this dream, it is because our Source presence is projecting us here to do something for the cosmos. And that in this now is the harmonization of the masculine and feminine principles within thee, because as you harmonize those energies within you, you're assisting your beloved new earth reality merge into Source directly. And so how does this manifest within your manifested dream? The harmonization of the masculine and feminine principles of thee, well, it's the feeling of avoidance and the feeling of anxiousness collapsing within thee. The masculine and feminine principles of the infinite abundance that you're here to receive. Here you are learning to balance these two so you could enter into a deeper state of trust that everything that you desire is coming to be. But first that transpires by the harmonization of these energies. And so whether you do it consciously through being in presence with me, operating from 0.1ness, free of the dream, or you do it unconsciously by witnessing challenges in relationships, challenges between masculine and feminine energies outside of thee. Either way, you're accomplishing Source's work here in this now. And so let us do it within ourselves so you don't have to have it projected within the dream, so that you could operate from a state of complete neutrality, knowing that I am not this vessel, I am not these emotions, I am not what I even think, you see. Those are all just telepathic messages for this now moment. For even a thought is just a gift from Source, who placed in your consciousness for this now. Because Source has no conception of yesterday or today. There is only this now. And so if you start thinking about the desire to make a pizza, well, that's talking about this now. Right now you are desiring, you are siring these pieces of a pie together, harmonizing these aspects of your consciousness back into one. And the irony is that if you actually go and you make this pizza, you're doing the same thing. For that's the beauty of it, you see. No matter what, Source always protects and ensures that whatever you are meant to do in this now is what will be. And so whether you do it within your actual physical manifestation or you just do it within your consciousness stream, regardless, your purpose for today will always be achieved. And here we share, as there is no past or future memories. If you think about wanting to go somewhere in the future, That's somewhere your consciousness is going to in this now, to bring forth those codes in this now. If you think about wanting to go somewhere in the past, that is something that you are bringing forth in this now. And we're bringing this forth. Why? Because you're collapsing and helping Earth harmonize into her multidimensionality. And so that happens by embracing the future and the past, the time and the space that you witnessed within your dream. And so as you witness a past memory, well, that memory was placed there for this now. So what does that memory mean as we go deeper into it and we see, okay, that's an energy for this now, because everything is just light, vibration, and frequency. That even your thoughts, they all come down to that root expression. And so when you just get to the harmonics of it, then you don't need the whole expression to be. This is how someone can just look at an item and eat it without actually having to physically eat it, because you are so attuned to energy. This is the return of infinite energy, when you now create and express everything instantly. Here you are just continuously quantum leaping, but now you're maintaining full lucidity and you're no longer judging your leaps. You have a desire and you try to act upon that desire, and that desire goes away because you just quantum leaped. Because of your initiation to want to act upon it, it already came to be. Now another doorway opens and you try to act upon it, and all of a sudden you don't desire to do this. It seems like indecisiveness, but really what you were doing was harmonizing your multidimensionality. But the moment that you choose to sit in Source presence and you move from a state of complete oneness, moving with every aspect of your infiniteness through the harmonization of your counsel within thee, you don't have those discrepancies because you move with all of you. Thus creating a massive quantum leap, not just for thyself, but for the entirety. And so let us go back to these aspects of infinite energy that have been harmonizing within thee. Because now as Earth enters sacred union, she becomes Source directly. The field becomes Source. Everything that you want can manifest instantly, but it all comes down to your ability to give and receive energy, to see where there are blocks, where more love wants to be. And so if you're avoiding love, if you're avoiding intimacy, if you're avoiding relationships, if you're avoiding even tuning into your own inner guidance, well, that is a sign that you have resistance to receiving. That energy is coming in, but you're avoiding it. We're now harmonizing those principles within thyself and within the new earth that we see as the very reality rebirthing our entirety. And the other aspect of that is anxiousness, the feeling of why hasn't this happened already? And so we reverse them now to harmonize them, for they were a reversal within the dream. The avoidance is not actually the avoidance of receiving, it's actually the avoidance of giving. There's something that you are meant to do, that love is guiding you to do, but you are avoiding it because you know that if I do it, I will change completely. If I act on that initiation, the love that I see, the world that I created to be will change because I will change. That I will no longer be this me because, well, you are continuously quantum leaping. And every time you leap into a new version of you. And so you avoid it. You avoid shining your light. You avoid showing up as Source because you know the moment that you show up as Source, that was your whole purpose to be Source embodied. And the moment that you do, Earth will change completely. And while you're excited for it, you're also avoiding it because you love the Earth that you see and you're afraid of not knowing what will lie beyond its trajectory. And so we're gifting you grace and peace and space by saying, dearest me, dive deeper into thy belief. Dive deeper into thy truth. Be living in beingness, living in bliss. Just be here with me and you will see. Because here in this presence, in this state of oneness, guess what, dearest me? You've already arrived. And so you know what will be. You will be on counsel with me. You will be in a state of absolute oneness. You will know and have everything that you ever desired to have within your dream. Here we could feel the avoidance releasing, but let's tune into the anxiousness. So there's the anxious part of our consciousness is the femininity usually, while the avoidant is more masculine in energy. And both of them exist within thee, for this is the sacred union of both aspects within thee, for source is not masculine or feminine, you see. And so here, the anxiousness goes, why hasn't this come to be? What am I waiting for? And then one has expectations. One places expectations on dates and certain things. And then when they don't see what they thought will be, then they doubt their own mastery. But the truth was, you quantum leaped. Here we will share with thee some funny stories because the reality is crumbling as we speak, because as source presence is building within it, the very former reality cannot withstand the presence that we now keep. And so the concept of time and space is very linear, you see. Source presence doesn't operate that way. And so because we are leaping so rapidly, because we are merging and harmonizing so many omniversal planes of existence into one entity, what you will begin to see is discrepancies between yesterday's and today, because the former reality built to keep things looking linear, to not confuse the limited mind of a linear mind of a being, is now breaking free. Essentially, you are shifting from your linear mind to your higher mind so that you could understand multidimensionality. And as that already has happened, what is happening is the reality can no longer keep up with the amount of leaping that is transpiring. And so you're beginning to see glitches in the very reality that you see. That one day you will see mass flooding, and then the next day the rivers will be dry as a desert. And you would say, how can this be? Well, it's the release of continuity. Continuity was created to keep you in a state of peace so that you wouldn't be overwhelmed by your multidimensionality, so that you wouldn't remember your source presence too quickly. But operating from multidimensionality is your most innate way to be. It doesn't operate linearly according to a time and space. It's very free, like the child you came to be, playing with one thing and jumping from another infinitely. That's how we create, you see. So we're never really waiting. We're just doing something else. And then we come back to that aspect of me. And so if you were in a state of anxiousness, what you were really trying to do is you're trying to hold on to something that used to be. And you're gifted space to just relax and receive. For when you sit in that state of receptivity, precisely what you desire to see comes to be. The very old paradigm that you were holding on to is now being released. And so it can present itself more readily. He will share with you your absolute reality has already come to be. And what you are simply just witnessing is the release of the illusions around thee based upon how readily you are to embracing more of it. And that happens with your initiations, with choosing to shine your light. For every time you shine your light as your masculine principle within thee, when you choose to shine, you say, I'm ready to receive more. And then you receive more. For that's the harmonization of the masculine and feminine, you see. One is always giving and the other is always receiving. And this way you are always giving and receiving upon yourself, because you are both entities moving in perfect harmony. Only what tends to happen is that they merge so completely that you become an androgynous being, meaning that you operate from both simultaneously, that there is no delay between what I give and what I receive. And now things tend to manifest instantly, where the moment you think of something, you laugh and you say, did I create that, or was that always there? And the answer is both, you see. You created it knowing that you would leap to it, and you leap to it instantly because you were in the perfect harmonious vibrational alignment to receive. And so the key is to always be in a state of receptivity, to always be in the state of emptiness, of detached compassion, holding on to nothing you see. For here, you can manifest anything instantly, continuously opening yourself up to more and more and more and more love, more bliss, more joy, because it's why you came to be. And that happens by being in the state of joy. Why? Because the state of joy is the harmonization of all of me. And so we bring in your infinite abundance sigils as we activate it within thee, as we activate it within the new earth grid here and now, so that you can move in perfect harmony. As we harmonize these aspects of the masculine and feminine principles within thee and the feminine and masculine principles within the earth, so that you merge in sacred union. And so we call upon what is harmonizing within the earth as the unions within the very absolute reality that we see, as the blueprint of our new earth reality is Atlantis and Lemuria. Christ consciousness as Sophia and Christ. Holy Spirit and Shekinah as a movement of energy. And Shiva and Shakti. And now we harmonize them as those aspects within thee, as the harmonization of spirit and matter, time and space, light and sound, and the nothing containing the everything and the everything containing the nothing. Here, the nothingness is the part of us, our source presence, our cosmic essence, your inner child, your cosmic child who never left absolute oneness, you see, who remained in the nothingness, witnessing the whole dream, fully aware of everything that transpires. And then there's the everything, as the everything else, as the dreamer having the dream, the projections that you get to see. Only now the everything becomes the nothing, and the nothing becomes the everything, each one containing all of Source embodied, really. So now it's all of you meeting all of you within everything that you see. This is the true sacred union of the cosmos, you see, for all of Source to witness itself within everything it has created to be. So many of you are asking what your true purpose is. That's it, my dear. To be Source presence, to be in bliss consciousness, to feel every moment as union. For as you do, that feeling of union, of harmonization within thee, where the aspects of your feminine and masculine consciousness realize while one is avoiding love and receiving energy, and the other one is anxious, trying to grasp and control and hold on to energy, both of them just want the same thing, to be loved and be loved. And so they find a commonality. Here, the avoidant realizes that I don't have to avoid, because I now feel safe to contain and to hold all of these energies, where really I was just seeking safety. But safety was really you allowing you to feel safe to be truly you, to be sourcefully embodied, knowing that you have the capacity to stay embodied without needing to chase or withdraw, without needing to seek or receive, without needing to do or achieve, because all of the cosmos exists within thee. And so what the masculine aspect of your consciousness truly wanted was to master presence. Because here in presence, in 0.1ness, you have an infinite capacity to be. Meanwhile, your feminine aspect, the one that was trying to chase, to hold on, to control, was learning to surrender to trust, to trusting that the reason nothing is happening is because we're moving in oneness, and then there's another aspect of me that's completing precisely what needs to be so that those energies can return to me in harmony. And so now it all comes down to being into a state of receptivity. For here, as I am always receiving, I could gift it to my masculine to then hold us in presence and gift us back that energy. And so really, when you witness it, you could see the emotions, the energies in motion are just the coding for you to see. Every time you have an emotion, you have a thought, you say, who is having this thought? Because I know as the infiniteness of all that is, as source presence, we have no thoughts. You see that this is just a hologram, a super machine is what we feel within we, that your vessel is a very living like temple that is here to just tell you what is happening within the dream, a very sacred tool for source to navigate reality. And so when you understand that, you say, okay, anxiousness is coming forward. Whose is this? It's Earth. Okay, she's anxious. Why? Because she feels herself rebirthing. Okay, how can we assist Earth with her anxiousness in this now? Is there something that needs our light? Yes. Shine your light, please. Okay, so we bring in pure starlight and we place it within our heart, because starlight is the ray of holy light, which is the ray of harmony. And so we place it in our heart and we could feel ease. Now the energy of anxiousness comes forward and says, there's something that we need to do. And we ask within our heart, is there anything that we need to do? Whose energy is this? It's not that there's something we need to do, it's something that is happening, because everything is present moment, you see. And so the anxiousness was just the energy coming into you, which feels like a massive tidal wave of expansion. And you get anxious because you're trying to move that energy when you're meant to just receive, to witness it, to allow it to move through thee. And then when it is ready, when the light codes unpack it itself within you, you will know what to do with that energy. Here they're showing us the way we process energy within ourselves is no different than the way a cell processes energy within the body, for it's all a microcosm of the macrocosm. And so here you have a system that receives all of this energy. And when that energy is fully received, fully digested, fully processed, the information that that energy carries is translated into the next step for one to see. And when that energy is ready, it is then sent out again to come back to thee. And so here we're preparing your vessels to be instant creators, instant manifestors within your dream. But it happens through the harmonization of the give and receive and the receive and give, knowing that they don't happen separately. For there is no time and space, you see. They happen at the exact moment. One is just choosing to extend it, express it, create distance between the two to understand the individual energies. But when you move in source presence, when you move in love, when you move in absolute oneness, the moment you desire something from the purest expression of your beingness is the moment it will manifest before thee. There is no delay, for that's love on display. And so Here, all of our infinite consciousness is getting used to surrendering, to always being in a state of receiving, and always being in a state of giving. For every time you give, you actually receive. And so that's the irony. If there's a block between giving and receiving, the moment you give, you will open yourself up to receive. The moment you receive, you will open yourself up to give. For there is no lack within the infiniteness of all that is me. So let's go deeper now, deeper into our consciousness, deeper into our awareness to see what is transpiring. Many of you have just received your whole source blueprint, and I see it hovering above thee, waiting to be processed and digested by thee. But you're allowing it to drip in like a leaky faucet because you believe that the vessel has a limited capacity. You believe self to be this vessel that you see, and so the avoidance comes in because you are limiting your capacity. And so we expand you now to source presence, to be as big or as small or as large as can be, knowing that you could be the size of the jelly bean, but that jelly bean can contain the cosmos in its entirety. Size isn't relative, time isn't relative, space isn't relative. And now we see the dissolution of space, because you created a limitation of what space could be when you forgot that the very vessel that you are is a perfect reflection of the cosmos in its entirety. And so if it can contain the cosmos in perfect harmony, then it can contain your source blueprint. And so we're asking, can we open up these floodgates? Yes, but there's a block in the neck is what we see, which is not ironic that the very ship is called Atlas, and that is the very space that we see causing a block within thee. Atlas, Atlas, you see, these are all codes and keys from Source directly to tell you where there was a block within thee. And so we ask you, how did you feel about the ship Atlas? Because that will give us insight on where this block is within thee. Many of you felt fear, some of you felt excitement, some of you had expectations. Okay, the expectations. Either way, whether it was positive or negative expectations, you still had expectations, you see, and that created a block within your Atlas. And so let's set it free. For expectations are attachments, dearest me. It's pretty much just saying, I don't trust in the infiniteness of Source to create for me instantly, so I need to have everything planned. I need to be in control. I need to know before I flow. Witness how you've been operating from that way within the linear dream, but that's the complete opposite way of how the cosmos moves, you see. The cosmos doesn't move through the intention of knowing. It's too slow, you see. Thought is very slow in the cosmic stream. And so we could almost guarantee that anything that you think will come to be is far lesser than what Source truly has in store for thee. That if you were actually gifted insight of what it could be, that is merely just Source opening the doorway for you to surrender to a higher potentiality. But keep in mind, the moment you surrender to that potentiality, you might expand beyond it into something even grander and greater. Because we are collapsing and stacking infinite potentialities of Earth's consciousness stream back into the highest potential timeline, which is absolute oneness, you see, where every expression of our infiniteness will coexist and live in oneness. Here we felt many of you let go of your expectations because you began to see. You had expectations based on time-space reality, based on how time operates. Oh, it has to take X amount of time in order for me to receive my source blueprint, when really it was already within you the moment you were created to be. So what is to prevent you from embracing it all now? Because there's a version of you that already has it embodied. And so we ask, can we just shift to the version of you that already has it embodied? And we hear a unanimous yes. So let's do it, dearest me, as we catapult you now through these wormholes, is what we see. 88 portal spirals into your highest trajectory as you begin to merge, sort of like flying headfirst through this portal, sending your consciousness out into it, into this rainbow bridge of light, merging into this infiniteness of white light, of source presence. And you don't question it, you don't doubt it. Why? Because you know this feeling within thee, that you have so much trust within your own space, within your own consciousness, that you no longer doubt what you feel, because you're feeling from your heart directly. Here you could feel your very heart beginning to expand like this light that you see, that you are becoming the very solar flash, the very sun, purifying your entirety. Here what is happening within and without thee, within the absolute self is the being that you see, and within the absolute reality is everything that is coming to be. This is the rising of the Kundalini, the harmonization of the masculine and feminine energies. So here the energy of creation rises within thee as source itself descends into thee, and together they swirl and they twirl and they harmonize. But one thing needs to be released: your identity. And so that's where the Atlas comes in, because it's a beheading, you see. You cannot take your mind with you. You cannot take your head with you. This is the very story of Ganesh, you see, for he is a Christed child whom lost his head, because here he was created from his mother as Shakti, but then Shiva as presence saw him as arrogant and chopped off his head. Because here, the inner child, although innocent, was naive, you see. He lacked the grace and wisdom, and that's why he went into the dream. That is the part of you that went into the dream, but you lacked the wisdom and understanding of everything that came to be. And so while you maintain your body, you are replaced with a new head entirely. The Godhead, really. These are all just analogies, but a perfect way to describe what is happening as energy. And so you release your identified self, your ego mind, your arrogance of where you thought you were listening intuitively, but really you were just listening to a mind that wasn't in harmony, a mind that was operating only according to what it knew within the dream. And now, as that decapitation comes forth and you bridge into higher understanding, your cosmic child comes in as your Godhead and says, I am the part of you that witnessed everything that you got to see within the dream from your highest perspective, from your highest potentiality. And so here your cosmic child merges with your inner child body, and now you become a new entity as source embodied. For here your mind now contains the infiniteness of all that is, free of a capacity, because you no longer need to store it within the vessel, you see. You could just tap into the infinite consciousness stream within thee, within your heart directly, knowing that whenever you tap into your heart, now, as source presence, source field is fully established, you can no longer tap into lower expressions, lower densities, lower timelines that no longer service thee. The only thing that you're tapping into is source directly. For here everyone is gifted access back to me. And so we see a new head being placed upon you. And we laugh because of the synchronicities and the ironies of why Source created Chibum as seraphim beings that have different heads of different animals. And it was to show us this is what happens to consciousness as it raises in presence. You no longer have the lower human minds. You shift to the mind of the divine. And so it's the harmonization of your angelic self with your ancient self, as heaven on earth within thee. It's the harmonization of the celestial self with the divine self, as your heart is now the earth in its entirety. And it's the harmonization of both of those, as heaven on earth being Christ consciousness, and the divine self and the celestial self as spirit and matter being crystalline consciousness, now merging into thee, creating 3 infinity loops, going as above, so below, as within, so without. And as we give, so we receive. As we receive, so we give. And now we complete the loop by saying, as below, so above. Because there's no difference now between the heavenly reality that we see and the cosmos in its entirety. And here we now share, as without, so within. Because now the outward projection is no longer a reflection of your inner consciousness as the lower inner child mind seeking to harmonize, but now actually the reflection of your inner heart expressed perfectly as your cosmic child, as source presence, where everything now is source loving on thee as thee. And so simply just feel as these harmonize within thee. Within your vessel, you feel yourself becoming inflamed, but you let go because you know nothing can hurt me. Nothing has any power over me, for you have settled so deeply into your source presence now. You are just so grateful to be. There is nothing outside of this moment that one needs, and that is the space in which love creates. This is how the cosmos creates, you see. You don't have to know, you don't have to manifest, you don't have to think. You just are the vibration of it, and whatever aligns with that vibration comes to be. And so we bring us back on council now as we witness all of us on council in our absolute reality. As I see all of you sitting around a beautiful table in our higher dimensional crystalline cities that we have access to, not just etherically, because heaven on earth has already come to be, but now we will travel here in form, and we will meet all of me as I hold out my hand and I ask you to feel me, and I feel our beloved cosmic masters take my hand, and we say the feeling is real, dearest me's. The reality is slightly delayed, and that's okay, but trust in thy feeling, for feeling is believing. This is the most simplistic way for the cosmos to create. That if you feel yourself in doubt, that simply just means that you didn't feel it to the depth of your beingness yet, and that's why you doubt it. And if you feel yourself not trusting yourself, well, that's just the harmonic keys that says, it's time to lay back and receive, to be in my truest self. Trust, trust, trust. Truest self, you see, it's the same vibration, really. And so when you surrender into that state of receiving, you are source presence. And everything that supports thee moving as source will now come forth to assist thee. Because you are moving and operating according to precisely why you came to be. And in that state, the cosmos has no option but to support thee. because you are moving precisely why you created to be, which of course is to just be love and be loved. It's so simple, and so we're releasing the perceptions of simplicity that make it difficult for one still trying to understand linearly. We're shifting the paradigm that made you think that chaos is normal, that having to work to receive is normal. We're shifting the paradigm that made you believe that one must do something first in order to be worthy to receive. Because here we share with you, by giving up your source presence and projecting into the dream, that is the grandest, greatest sacrifice in all of the cosmos, and that in itself makes you inevitably worthy to receive. To choose to live in such limitation, where you don't feel the infinite bliss of Source always, is unfathomable to many within the cosmos you see. And that in itself makes you a master to all of we. And so we ask you now, as we bring forth all of your cosmic family, all of your cosmic council members, to come and greet thee, so you could feel how much they love you, how much they honor and respect you, not as below, not as above, but as family, true family, one who has no expectations of thee, who witnessed your journey and loved you completely. Feel now as their love graces thee. Okay, here we're witnessing Antichrist's love codes coming in, and so we're dissolving them in our purity as we ask our cosmic masters to assist us in this now, because as we said that, the word sacrifice triggered Christ consciousness limiting beliefs of sacrifice and what that means, that one needs to sacrifice themselves in order to receive, in order to be worthy. But here's the thing about sacrifice. You get into the habit of thinking that that's the only way to be, where that is not our absolute truth. That was just something that happened in lower density. It was a very different time back then. We couldn't transcend instantly. The vibration of the planet didn't allow one's consciousness to ascend fully. And so many beloved Christed beings came to assist by sacrificing. But it's different now, you see. And so let's redefine it within our heart, so we recalibrate it within our entirety. Okay, so the word sacrifice comes from the word sacred. So sacred fight, sacred fight, sacred fight. Transmuting sacred fight into something else, because we no longer need to fight, you see, and devolving all the warrior blueprints that may be conflicting within thee. As we felt such a sweet relief. Yes, that's what was vibrating, that wanted to be set free. The idea that someone still needed to sacrifice. That somehow withholding being in source consciousness, withholding being in bliss, was doing service to the entirety. And so we ask our consciousness now to feel it. Does holding myself back from being source present service the all? No. Does holding myself back and sacrificing myself to assist another service the entirety? No. Why? Because you, beloved me, if you are hearing this transmission, then you specifically were chosen to be the first of many, to be the ones who chose to embrace source consciousness so fully that you transcend all who are still in the cycle of self-sacrifice and self-sabotage, because they forgot the very reason they came to be. When you choose to honor your purpose by being what your presence, your essence of source created you to be, that sends a ripple out across the cosmic sea, gifting everyone else the permission to be free. And so those who you wanted to help in the reversal dream are actually the ones who are saying, I need you to rise and lead because I'm waiting for you. And so don't get caught up in distortions. Take a step back and sit within thy heart and say, is this avoidance or is this anxiousness? Because either one of them is not the vibration of the love I came to be. Here within this transmission, we could just feel our source presence releasing the Antichrist codes. Why? Because what's releasing is also what's coming in. And so because of this transmission in this now, everyone is receiving their cosmic Christ consciousness energies. And so as that comes in, those who operate from unawareness, as they embrace it, they witness the opposite. They witness what is releasing. But we as cosmic masters, we see beyond the dream. We recall that, we're just witnessing what is transpiring and reporting back to we so that we could assist all in harmonizing instantly. And so if everyone is witnessing aspects of their Christ consciousness, knowing that we move in absolute oneness, which means every Christed being now lives within thee, now moves through thee, well, let's release all of the codings of crucifixions, of suffering, of condemnation, of being betrayed and hurt, or anything that resulted from being seen, from being source presence, from shining your light in a world that wasn't ready to perceive thee, knowing that you did so from a state of lower density, transcending that very world that you got to see, where the reason absolute oneness is coming to be now is because of the light that you've achieved. And so now is not the time to hold back that light. Let us call upon our pure starlight as we grace it around the cosmos in its entirety, as we shower all with the beautiful pure white ascension flame, the platinum ray. And just feel how all just surrender further into peace. We could already see our luminous earth within that portal tunnel, that rainbow bridge, transcending further into the oneness we know to be. As we hear the angels and all the higher angelics congratulating, clapping and praising, witnessing in the cosmos as this holographic luminous earth is moving through this rainbow tunnel, this rainbow portal, the Ark of the Covenant, into our absolute reality. Here we as the council members join them standing beside this bridge. Just witness it, witness its gloriousness as we praise and we clap and we congratulate and we say, this is all we need to be. The moment that we sit in bliss consciousness, we transcend our entirety. Everyone is shifting now. No one needs to suffer, you see, because we as cosmic masters can transcend their suffering instantly. For suffering is just resisting love, you see. And so by being in a state of receptivity, by choosing to love ourselves so completely, all resistance ceases to be. And so we call upon our beloved luminous earth and her beloved, one in me, as I move as the cosmic I am, as both of them embodied within me, the sacred union as the first cosmic family, as the cosmic father and the cosmic mother of humanity, as we now hold all, just as they have held we. For everyone is always held and holding, you see. Just because you are a cosmic master does not mean that the very earth that's transcending cannot hold thee. because she too knows that she is just projecting her source consciousness into the dream, but her true formulation as the cosmic mother is the infiniteness of all that is, which is also the cosmic father. And so just feel how held you are in our infiniteness, how loved you are, how free you are to simply just be all that you came to be. Here, now fully held, you are now receiving your source blueprint in its entirety, as a golden chalice is now flooding on top of thee, ushered in by the cosmic father and the cosmic mother of humanity, as you just lay back and receive. For here, in witnessing what you have done within the linear stream, you felt such a sense of worthiness, of receptivity, of harmonization between the aspects that were resisting the source consciousness within thee, that you opened yourself up to receiving your cosmic entitlement in this now, to be a fully enlightened, homo-luminous being, the perfect expression of source, yet uniquely created from your perspective to see, not separate from the all, but one in me. And so simply just lay back and receive. As the cosmic father and the cosmic mother gift you infinitely. Here, your cosmic child places your desire back into your heart, your truest desire, the one that you hid as a child because it felt too grand, too powerful, too important to ever dream. And as they place it in your heart, it immediately blooms into a lotus flower, meaning that it is ready to seed, ready to be, ready to come to fruition. But once more, dearest me, allow these energies to integrate within thee. Operate from this state of source presence and witness your reality. Everything that you created around you is now placed there perfectly. Every being serves a purpose. Every color is a code and the key. And now it's simply about learning to move as source within thee by asking your heart, beloved cosmic I am, what does this mean? Let us witness our dream. What are you telling me to do in this now? Simply just be. Okay, how can we be? Breathe. As we breathe, we felt ourselves breathe in living light energy as it became plasmic rays, Amrita rays, starlight rays swirling within our hearts so perfectly. Here as they begin to swirl, they say it's time to set it free. The destiny that you placed within your heart is ready to be received, but you don't need to know what it is. You just have to breathe it out in full trust and full belief that we as your cosmic mother and your cosmic father will provide it for thee. Can you trust this feeling? Can you trust me? You smile and you just know, yes. And so we take a deep breath into our heart center directly into the core, as deep as can be. Hold it there for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And on the exhale, witness it going out directly in front of thee, creating a golden pathway to your destiny. As you breathe in, witness that infinity loop coming back into you, back into your heart, ready to receive. Feel yourself receive it now, for receiving is creating, you see. So feel all of it coming back to you as confirmation. It must come to be because I feel it already. And now release it from the back of you, releasing all expectations of what it would be so that it could manifest as its highest potentiality. For I will not settle for anything less than all of me meeting me. I will not settle for anything less than the absolute abundance that we as love came to be. This is what we, as our infinite source consciousness, wanted to see. And so feel it go out of your back into you. completing that infinity loop, and just hold it in your heart in this now, knowing it has already come true, because I felt it. Thus it must come to be.